All right, let's get into the Mercury project and the shots in the arm for that hollow cause and the old world from Reagan to now being wrapped up. And I got records here that my mother made, and it tells of what I had and when I had it and the reactions or effects of these things, okay? And since we've been given this internet, this world, wide web, it connects kind of everything, and we've had a chance since the late 90s, early 2000s to go out here and gather intelligence, in a matter of speaking, okay? And we've always had this kind of source of intelligence in our old world that we saw is these things are peaking, but that would be the library. And there's two swords, or a two-edged sword, and it has the naughty or nice, or what's taught and what's not taught. So what's taught is that, hey, I got something here, I'm hooked. And the not taught is that slack line where you're still not hooked, you're running wild, you haven't been. Those types of things. So as my records show, in 77, 78, and I don't know if there's other people's who records show this, but in the 80s we saw Ronald Reagan expand the government 3 times the size basically, and the war on drugs came out while they started handing out drugs left and right through the pharmaceutical industries, and it got to where they even show commercials and all these things. So as this thing is being worked on 2 sides, and they're taking your keys, and it's being passed down generation to generation to where eventually all the doors in the box are closed, and we're kind of like at that last box. But as the intelligence, so-called, is being given through what's taught, and what's taught is through your media, your radio, your TVs, your textbooks, your colleges, your teachers, your doctors, your dentists, your instructors, trainers, whatever, pastors, all these people that your so-called begotten sons that you seek salvation from, that are part of the 7 candlesticks that light up this world, that interfere with the 7 lights in you, the 7 chakras, and the 7 heads of the beast that has the 10 horns to see. Okay, so and then you have the earth beast that is within you. That's the 2 horns on the one beast. That's the naughty and nice, the right and wrong, the left and right, the masculine, feminine that is within all people, the life, the death, the anger, the love, the hate, the acceptance, the negative, the positive. All these things work together within each one of us, and we each have a light inside of us, and it only shines so much because we have a firmament around us. Okay, so they're trying to come in and take your sun, your light, from day one through this serpent sting that's been crawling up this staff, this bow, and it's going from now to the case shot and beyond to, I don't even know how many they're doing now, but it's over 50 between start and finish. I mean, and then you can look at this throughout the world and see, hey, this country's doing it this at this time, this one's doing it this way, this one's doing it over here this way, this one's waiting till they're 3, this one's waiting till they're 5, all these different methods, and it's all a way to gather up different things. Okay, so we're going into the 3rd temple. The temple is built without hands. The kingdom of heaven comes without observation. All these things, we are heaven is in us. So this is where God, the light's coming in, transforming heaven, transforming the man, transforming us, and to go into a new time frame. And there's basically 80-90% that's done this thing over and over through the years since they've taken off the blinders to where we can't sue. And the sue is the US on the backside with the E, and that's the electronic time frame, is tying all these things together. But as these things are all going to culminate, the test is done. We're going into a new time frame. We're gathered the intelligence. So what's done is done. So as the new temple has been rebuilt, it has to be rebuilt, okay? Because your RNA, the messaging for the DNA is the light in the body. All these things have been interfered with, so this is where you got to go and redo things in a different way to cleanse that body and cleanse the temple and detox. And this is where it's all kind of set up in a broad spectrum, but as it's set up in an overlay of the world to bring people into a new time. This is where the people don't want to go into the new time. They got the old age kind of gathered this way, that way, and that way. So it just all kind of works to where you kind of peter out. You peter to Peter. And the Peter is the one that Jesus called Satan and said he would start the church, and everybody goes back to Peter and all this other stuff. Okay, so the Peter is part of that Wang worship. And you'll be seeing enough of that soon enough. But that's where you're going into your church, that steeple, and you're the semen going in there into the balls. All right, that's all what that is. All right, so it all goes back to that. And then the dome and the DC, this is the pregnant woman and all those other things. It's giving birth, and that's the ovaries. And that's why you had the Oval Office and the ovulation and all those things, and the seaman coming in, and he's the begotten son, and he's a begotten son on one spectrum as far as the government, the God structure, and whatever. And that God structure is coming in and redoing a new system, okay? But as he's doing a new system, the Mercury project, those things closest to the sun, that light source in the pineal gland, okay? This is where the Mercury and the pineal gland, the sun, the light in the body, the face of God, all those things are working together and to bring one temple to the other temple, which meets in the middle, all those things, okay? So as that clay and iron was gone in, it's going to crumble on the coming times, and as it crumbles, it's going to have to be rebuilt. And as it's going to have to be rebuilt, there have to come in and trust this new system in a way to fix them. But it's not done yet. That's where you get the fluid for that grease on the rust, on the bolts and the bridge, and all these things that we've been shown since Biden was on the Woodstock in New Hampshire, when that amp is pulsating right now. Okay, so all this stuff is going to culminate and go into a little capstone cornerstone, and it's gonna squeeze these people. All right, as it squeezes these people, you got to come through the needle and the haystack in a way, and the eye of the camel, or the needle in the eye of the camel, whatever that scripture is. Y'all know which one. Either way. So this is where they're going to be freaked out by it, and then at the end, the AI is going to fix it all, and it's all been gathered up to where it can actually fix them maybe or whatever, but we'll see how it all works, okay? But just giving you like a broad spectrum of the like next 2 and 3, 4 years and such, as we go from 83 Biden, which is this year coming up. We're approaching the return of the Jedi years, and then it's going to take us to 83 Trump, and then that's the 383 for that Dodge ramification. All right. the measles cells, the me cells. All right, as all these heats are coming together, right? You've got the big bangs coming up, the collision of the solar systems, and all this. All right, that spy real galaxy where you have these. Well, that's a whole nother. We won't get on that rabbit trail. But that's the free and bond, the things that are upon you in DC and all these things. We're gonna be living the tell a vision, and the V, and the V is now as it is for the Roman numeral 5. All right, so we're like in a V for that valve, for that bridegroom situation. And when we start going up and getting to there or whatever, that's when the all kind of thing. But and then the 5 would attach you to May. Either way, the V takes you to part 5 of the Star Wars, which is the Empire Strikes Back, and that's part of the Ice Age, and those things that I've gotten into. We'll be doing some more things on that, but basically these records should be played at some point to where we can change the system to where they have to listen. And either way, we've had time to gather the intelligence, basically sitting on our own front porch using the internet the past years, and most of us have just wasted our life away and have not read really much of anything, and or just kept in the box, really. Well, they say it's bullshit, I shouldn't read it, so well, they tell me this over here, but they tell me a hot dog's better for me than a handful of almonds. So I mean, that tells me this program might have flaws, so I might just need to watch it just as entertainment. But now the entertainment, that image that's been given life, the TV that started off as the real shit, like bringing real news, those types of things, okay? And then it just went off into the deep end. And when they started doing the 24-hour news, this kind of went in with the different major news stories as they broke out, and then they started going 24 hours. But this is like when there's no rest or whatever, when the machine just starts getting all haywired, and as it gets haywired, it gets you're able to de-wire and break off from the system in way, and this is where you're gathering the intelligence, where you're going off into the deep dark ends and whatever, or you're living life in the deep dark ends, and you got to come back and go do that crossroad or that crossroad. But some people just stand fucking, oh, there's fucking Nephilims. Oh, there's fallen angels, there's demons. That's a demon speaking. I can't listen to you. It's a bunch of garbage, dude. But we got the Beast Man being created right in front of us. We got the rib, the RNA, the ribbon, nucleic acid. ACID, a little loosey-goosey for the roosty on the grease needed for that fluid ID, for the real ID, and all these little things popping out.